Man Cave. Cedric and I are live. You may be watching this in the replay. Join us whenever you feel like it's important for you to sit down and learn, grow, explore. But we are here in the Man Cave. Appreciate Cedric last week. Just said some kind words about what I was going through, loss of my mother in my life, and still kind of letting that kind of fill my thoughts, fill my heart, and just kind of allowing that process to go through. But today, just we all are in it, right? We're all in this together. And before I introduce Cedric and the topic, I just wanted to just kind of show appreciation for you that might be listening in, and just knowing that we're in a different space, in the world, in our life, as a result of this virus, this coronavirus, that we're impacted in some way or another. And it's very fearful, right? It's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of things that we've never had to deal with before. Just challenges that we don't know if doing this is going to result in something that's going to be beneficial. Just listening to the medical professionals and trying to make the best decisions, and hearing the numbers. And it's a scary time. I talk a lot about just internally feeling certain things in the external world and how we're impacted by that, creating our own story. But this story is so large, it impacts us. This outward story impacts our inward journey, inward story. So before I enter the topic, I'm going to say my hellos to my amazing partner Cedric, and once again thank him for showing up last week here on the channel. And Ced, what's going on with you? Say your hellos and what you're checking in with.
What's up, man? Plant going on over here, man. We quarantined, so we're in pajamas all day. Oh man. And my TEDx, man. So it's good.
Rebuild.
Good, memories right here, man. Oh, and if y'all don't know, I was able to present at a TEDx Youth about a month ago. So I'm feeling good throughout. As good as it gets with all this mess that's going on, man. Still got family, and believe it or not, y'all, I'm essential. They say I'm an essential worker, so
you're out there
navigating that whole journey, man. Because it's scary, and then it's one of those things where you kind of got to do what you got to do, and other stuff around that. But overall, big picture, man, good. I'm on that, I guess I'm on that flow, and it's not ebbing back yet. I'm on that flow, how it is. And so, man, appreciate y'all joining us, y'all. Man, we in the cave. Got our plaid on, just chilling.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna be in this, for the next few months, right? So Cedric, him and I are going to really focus on just this topic over the next, at least next few episodes. So just want to make you aware of that. But so I was with the loss of my mom. It's been a little over a week and a half, about a week and a half now. I was in the hospital with my mom in intensive care with all the protective gear on, because right next door was a active COVID patient. So it was like no visitors allowed unless it's because of near-death experience or somebody that's dying in your life. And that was us. We knew our mom was in that stage of losing, kind of losing traction in her life, knowing that her wish was to just not continue to struggle with what she was going through. So, but through that, and what we're talking about today is just leading through fear. And for me, it was, my brothers and my sister, and trying to, really show up in a way that really provided some support, some love that we don't always, as brothers and sister, participate in or connect with, through our life. So it's something that really brought us together, not something we look forward to that being what brings us together, but just really looking to myself, looking to each other to lead through fear. So that was kind of the first part of kind of why I felt it was important to talk about that. But more importantly, well, not more importantly, equally importantly, as Cedric and I are sitting here, is, as men, how we're showing up in our lives today, how we are given the opportunity now to maybe shift our awareness around the type of leader that we're being, within our families, within our business, within those that we surround ourselves with, and really using this opportunity to almost have like a refresher, or not a refresher, but a refresh button to push to really, understand that this is an opportunity for us to learn, to grow, and to really dig deep in our leadership qualities and skills to, to really be that beacon of light for others that are struggling. And how could we really inspire at a subtle level, not, necessarily saving lives, which, our amazing medical professionals are doing on a, on a minute to minute basis right now, but just with our daily interactions, knowing that people are struggling, knowing that people they're fearful, knowing that people are just in maybe the worst place they've been in their life, cumulatively, not just individually, but just having friends, family members, acquaintances, people in their neighborhood, people in their state, people in the world that are all impacted by this. So I felt like it was just a great, kind of starting point for us to really dive deeper into this whole virus, conversation, and we're going to do this as a way to really bring in you, the listener, to really, bring up thoughts and ideas, and really bring more to this content than just Cedric and I are putting out there, because this is kind of why we're here, is to share in conversation, just two men from, two different places in the world, but also to, invite you in to really, participate, to where we can learn, we can, grow and share things together. So cumulatively, we're raising everybody up, and especially men. I think men may not know what to do at this point, with all these things going on in their lives. Maybe they're losing their job. Maybe they're now staying at home, and they're trying to find their place within the family that they're not used to, being or doing at this point. So how can they become leaders within their family? How can they become leaders in their life with this, kind of difficult challenge that we're all struggling with? So I'm curious with you, Cedric, knowing you're, spending time with your son, Kanisha's still working. You guys, when I talked to you the other day, it's a lot of business as usual, but, you're also engaging with people on a regular basis, delivering products to individuals that are, going through all these emotions, all of these experiences. I'm just curious for you, as you check in, what might you bring to the conversation that really would, kind of bring light to what you're going
Oh man. Okay.
through? That was a little wordy. I didn't breathe that whole time.
um, but oh gosh, man, it's
And let me pause for a minute before I let you go. My mom was a listener to the Man Cave. She listens to some of our episodes, so I'm gonna dedicate this episode to her, because I think
man, you never told me that, man, because I be cursing and stuff, man. I would have never been talking like that in front of Mama Serving, man.
She loved it. I'm gonna dedicate this episode to my mom.
Yeah, man, it's to Mama Serving, man. Golly. um, man, I'm gonna just be straight up right now, man. It's this, although I'm in a good state, it's definitely a minefield right now to be able to get here. Um, we I wasn't expecting this to happen. Nobody was, and I know for me it's mixed emotions, because in part of that, and even though he doesn't know what's going on right now, I still have to take those actions as a dad to be able to instill in him, like, hey, you still, if you're ever in a position where you have to provide for your family, this is what you need to do. um and actually it crossed my mind the other day, man. It's like, wow, right now I'm really understanding what they mean, like, you will die for your kids. I would die for my son, meaning, one, I don't have the means to be able to sit back for however long this gonna happen and not go to work. although I would be trying to help in some capacity, but believe you me, if I didn't have to, I wouldn't, because I don't want to put myself in harm's way. But I'm like, man, I can catch that and I could die. So with that is like, I have a choice to make though. I can say, man, woe is me, FML, because I'm in this situation to where I do have to put myself in harm's way to provide. Or like how I'm doing, what good is coming from it? Yeah, I'm in this position, and the reality is it's nobody's fault but my own. But that's a whole nother motivational speech there. Where I am is my fault. But with that, man, it's yo, I'm for everybody else that's out there, I'm still in the capacity where I'm helping. I'm still in the capacity to where I can see the good that's going on. Like when I'm out there on a day-to-day basis, man, I interact a lot of people, and you normally just get the quick head down because they don't want to catch that eye contact or whatever. It's just a lot of awkward encounters when you're in the cuts moving about and watching. But now as I'm watching, man, it's they having a distance, but now they pass by, and it's a hey, I want to hug you, but I can't type of energy. And so I'm like, yo, let me just tap into that and learn how to navigate that and have these days where at the end around this time I'm still in a good state because I need to practice through this crisis so I can be able to show up for them. Because I know my girl is probably scared. My family is probably scared. And everybody's looking like, okay, let's see what Mr. Positivity over here. Or, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, hey, y'all, I'm scared as shit too. But this is what I'm doing.
Well, I think too, it's like I was thinking the other day about, and I was talking to, I forget who I was talking to about it, but just the emotions that are coming up right now, especially with us, men. Not that women aren't. Women are amazing. I think women they teach us so many things that we just sometimes close our mind to because we're men, right? We've got it all figured out.
Right.
But I think for me, it's like realizing, these emotions that are coming up within me, that are familiar. That is like, where do I recognize that same feeling in my life that maybe I've been ignoring or not acknowledging as being important to really sit in? Not so much the information around the feeling, but just the feeling itself. Feeling of fear, feeling of anger, feeling uncertainty in a way that doesn't feel good, and just being able to recognize times in my life that I felt that feeling but didn't know what it was, or was afraid to take action to help move it forward. And now we're forced to, right? We're feeling those same feelings because of something that's so real, so so like right outside our door type thing that we don't know where it is and where it might be. um, we have to deal with it. We can't just run and hide. We have to do all these things we're being told to, to keep ourselves in the best possible, situation to not be exposed to this virus. And from everything that I've heard, most cases it is not anything that any of us would want to go through. Um, and knowing that, it's like, what is that learning point, and how can we put that into our leadership role within our family, within our life as we move forward? Because if we miss this mark in life to really kind of understand these basic things that we have not been connected to at a deeper level, our family connection, conversation, um, you know these experiences that we're almost having to to actually put ourselves into experiencing, staying home with the children, finding things to do, supporting kids that are seniors in high school, seniors in college, or all these kids that are that we can't tell them, oh, we've been through that, right? They can learn from us. I mean, so how do we create a leadership mentality in the situation, knowing that we don't have the answers, but we can learn from maybe our past experiences, those, you know, those feelings that are coming up again in a different way. And now let's just expose them. Let's face them, and let's allow those feelings to be something that pushes us to a higher level, to where we can be that born leader that we feel like we are at times, and do that in all aspects of our life for ourselves, you know, being a leader for ourselves, being a leader for our children. And not, I'm not saying this in trying to inspire people to become, you know, the head of their company. That's not what I'm trying to really focus on. Maybe that's possible, as you know, through this, but it's just more being a leader as a human being, you know, leading, you know, the charge to really create this change as a result of tragedy, you know, all these things we're experiencing.
Yeah. Uh, Man, when you were talking, it just kept coming up in my mind, like how can we show up? How can we show up as leaders? And one of the things that keep coming up, man, is one of the most important characteristics or talents or whatever, for lack of a better word, of a leader is communication.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one way we can start that journey of showing up as leaders during this time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easier said than done, because I'm not just talking like, oh, hey, how was the day? But talking with your close friends and really communicating those feelings, those thoughts. This is when we, man, it's so much, especially if you have kids or anybody looking to you, not just people in general, the world. We can show how we can build relationships or let go of relationships that's not serving us
Yeah.
well. Uh, We can show up like me. I'm working on financially. Not that, you know, maybe the wife could see, or the outward world will see, you know, once everything starts to it's a whole bunch of different ways. But I think the any key step or the key step to any changes is communication.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it rules the nation. Like, that's how change comes about. Like, in order to change the show, if we just come on every every week and we just do the show, and you have thoughts, I have thoughts, but we never ever talk about those, guess what? Nothing's gonna happen.
Right.
But if we start to talk about it, then things will start to change. And guess what? Inevitably, it may not be overnight, but inevitably would change into something that would be this big thing. And then we start to attract and see other people. And it's the same thing in our lives. Like, we can attract the goodness in the household. Like, talk to your kids about this.
Yeah.
Even though, you know, they're probably like, oh, they're kids and they just on their Xbox. But guess what? They're in there thinking about this stuff the same way you thinking about it. They're not dumb. You know what I'm saying? And so that's how we can, one of the things is have that open and honest communication about what you're experiencing right now, emotionally, mentally, physically, whatever. Because and I'm just speaking for me, and I know I feel like, shit, I'm a Marine, I'm a tough bastard, but I'm not that scared of it, but enough of it scares me to where I'm very, very mindful, and I'm respecting the hell out of it, you know.
Well, along with what you said about communication, the verbal communication, but also the nonverbal communication of how we interact with people that we, you know, run across, you know, on the street. You know, are we sharing our smile when we're feeling hopeful? Are we, you know, sharing our tears when we're feeling, you know, scared and or sad because we lost somebody? So that I think those emotions, those nonverbal emotional connections are, you know, something we're, I think, almost forced to now experience as well. I mean, you know, it just seems like, you know, we all know somebody that's been impacted by this virus, whether they're working in the medical field or they're delivering out, in amongst like you, in amongst, places of business that it's been found to be a positive, in that area, to people that have lost people. It's real. I mean, and it's just, the scary thing still is, that there's so much more to come. And I think even, listening to the experts, and even if it, reaches the lowest point of what they're estimating, which is a significant amount of loss of lives, potential of it coming back in the fall, or is it going to come back next year? And obviously more prepared for it next time with having, ways to deal with it differently. But it's how do we, when we're feeling fear and sadness and want to cry, especially, again, as men, who can we call to just share our feelings of feeling really scared shitless? I don't know if I'm been exposed. I don't know if somebody that I know gets exposed, that I'm going to be able to deal with it. And just that verbal and nonverbal communication through, our avenues as men, that we can become that leader, on a subtle level, and raise people up, raise ourselves up, because we're actually connecting to those parts of us that maybe we don't identify with on a regular basis, because we're men and we're not supposed to show our feelings. We're supposed to just be tough and be able to endure everything. I think that's being challenged right now. Those men that feel like that's more important than anything else, maybe they're now dealing with somebody that is losing somebody, or has lost somebody, or knows somebody that is dealing with this. And that breaks down all those, those barriers of the emotions that need to be felt. They need to be shared. And it can't just something we externalize. And that's leadership, I think, for us to show others how we can be in our lives, and make them and give them space to, to feel those feelings authentically, not that it's, anything other than real for that person, and having that compassion for others. I mean, I think that's such a beautiful thing in this world. Compassion, when you see it and you sense it and you feel it in others and in yourself, and how this whole, experience we're going through, how much compassion can come out of this. Compassion for those that have sacrificed, compassion for those that have lost people, compassion for those that are going to move forward their life to create changes as a result of what we've gone through. Lot to learn, lot to share. And I think that's why we felt, just this need to, to create, this kind of menu of opportunities to speak about this, because it's changing from day to day, moment to moment. And we want to be able to have these authentic conversations with each other as men, because we share thoughts about how we can, try to show up as fathers, show up as significant others in our lives, because we are, kind of both. I'm semi-retired, but working from home. My wife's still working, going off the office every day. You're out, in the front line, Cedric, dealing with this. So, this is real. And I think this is a topic that we, feel is important to bring to you, the listener. And again, this is for us, it's for you, it's for the world, to where we can just create a space, an opportunity to kind of let go of the outside world for a half hour, 45 minutes, and maybe learn something about ourselves that we can take from this conversation and put it into action, or bring something to our conversation that we might benefit from. Again, this is a two-way, this is a multi-outlet for those that are here already, and those that may join us. And again, if you've listened to our podcast before, we always encourage you to share what we're doing here, because it may not be exactly what you need, but there might be somebody that maybe you're making that decision for somebody else in your life that should be here. And I challenge you to not make that decision for somebody else, and maybe make that, bold statement to somebody. Hey, this is something you may want to really listen into, because you might gain a few nuggets, or you might be able to contribute something to a movement of men that are trying to create, a new way of thinking in this world today.
Yeah. Oh man, I like that. Y'all, man. It's I can't stress the importance of this topic right now. and not, you know, our show is topics for men, and it's really just to pique their interest, but for women too, man, everybody, it's this is a great opportunity to find out what type of, one, are you a leader, what type of leader are you, um, and I like this one because this may be stuff that people aren't thinking about, and I feel like it's a part of our mission, and it's somewhat our duty to show up with thought-provoking things and to help shift the mind a little bit, just kind of focus in a little different, not change where it's pointed, but just change the focus a little bit. We would be doing y'all a disservice if we didn't show up.
Yeah. And I think there might be those out there that might feel like, well, gosh, I never want to be a leader. I'm not a leader. That may be part of what you take from this, but it's also just leading. You don't have to be a leader to lead. You can lead people in your life, lead your family, lead yourself in a way that moves you forward.
Yeah.
And that's, so just think, just keep that in your awareness. I think sometimes when people kind of think that they need to be a leader, that puts pressure on themselves versus I can just lead. Maybe I can just lead today. Maybe I can lead my work group into a positive mindset to allow us to maybe shift a little bit of our awareness so we can not struggle in this moment as much as we're struggling
Yeah. And yeah, for those that might feel that way, you know, just lead. Don't worry about, hey, focus on you, not me, and just lead yourself. You know what I'm saying? Just take care of you, baby.
right
You know, that's do what you need to do on that front. Keep yourself healthy. Um, man, y'all. Hey, we gotta continue on this one because I'm like, man, I got some stuff going and I'm trying to keep it here and not go all motivational on y'all. Uh, that's a hard switch to turn off, man. Trying to turn that power down when we get here. Um, but yeah, man, I hope something was said for somebody and share it because we're gonna be talking about it. Hey, we at the house right now. If you don't have nothing to do, hey, just have your man. Ladies, if you want him to go away so you can watch your show and sip your wine, hey, have him come check out the Man Cave or whatever.
Yep.
And fellas, if you don't feel like watching her little lovey-dovey show, come check us out, man. Oh man, I don't have corona. Hey, you know what? Hey, every time you sneeze or cough now, hey, you gotta come. I got allergies, so it went down the wrong pipe. You gotta classify.
And that's as we say our goodbyes, I think we have to bring lightheartedness to this conversation because we are still human beings, and joy and happiness is something that sometimes doesn't feel always available. But just like anger, sadness, and fear, those come and go. So happiness will fill these spaces of our life as well as we move forward. So we appreciate each and every one of you for showing up for yourself first of all, but to show up here for us just to kind of listen into two knuckleheads sharing their thoughts and ideas and trying to inspire each other and then letting that bubble out into the universe to whatever it needs to be.
Yeah. Man, so until next time, y'all see what the signs say. Enjoy the journey.
Yes. Love y'all. Take care, Ced. Love you.
Hey, love you too, man. Love y'all.